Hey there, sweet peas. All right, it's been a couple of days, and I had the urge to do a general reading today. I have not really grabbed any particular deck, so I'm just going to kind of see what comes out. It is currently raining, thunder, lightning. It is a very soothing kind of day to me. I just love the sound of the rainfall. It just feels very, very calming, very soothing to me. Obviously, the thunder can be a bit startling, but I like the way it feels. You know, there's something electric in the air. There's something to be said for a good thunderstorm. All right. What is the energy for the collective today? What is the energy of this reading? What is the energy of this reading? Give me there we go. All right. So the main energy is the Seven of Swords. So I have the Page of Wands, the Hangman, and the Ten of Pentacles. Now, all right. So the Seven of Wands the Seven of Swords kind of gets a bad rep. Sometimes it's looked at as, you know, the kind of energy that feels sneaky and underhanded, and it's often connected with nightmares and, you know, needing to defend yourself. You know, you have these outside forces coming in while the person bearing the swords is trying to run away. And then we have Page of Wands, which is a very creative energy, but a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Not really fully developed. It doesn't feel like there's a full concept there of what that energy is going towards. And then the Hanged Man is urging you to look at the situation from a different perspective. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is prosperity. It's achieving your goals. It's getting all of the things that you desired, all of the things that you were building towards. But I don't feel yet like I've got a grasp on what the situation is. What is this about? Tell me what this energy is about exactly. Tell me more. What is this energy about? What is this energy about? Look at that. Look at that. And we have Ace of Pentacles. So, I don't know if you can see this, but Seven of Swords again. And then we have the Four of Pentacles here. So, the Ace of Pentacles would be about a new beginning, starting to build something new, starting to create something new. But then we have the Four of Pentacles here. What is this? So this feels like there's something that you're not being honest with yourself about. So maybe you started a project, or you had a creative idea, something that you were very passionate about and something that meant a lot to you, and you started to build it, but you got so caught up in your head about exactly what it was you wanted to achieve that you're not really reaching the prosperity that you are intending to, because you're kind of holding on and not really your efforts to build need to kind of start over here from what I'm seeing. You're so caught up in the ideas and the passion that you're not actually seeing the truth of what you need to do in order to achieve that state of Ten of Pentacles. I think this actually is better suited over here. So the perspective here is that in the Hanged Man, you're sort of stuck in the idea of what it should look like. You're not really seeing it for what it is. You're kind of looking at it from just one angle and not allowing other potential outcomes to be visible to you. And that right there is what is holding up that Ten of Pentacles energy. Interesting. Okay. I'd like to get some oracle messages on this. So tell me more about this Ace of Pentacles, Page of Wands energy. Tell me more about the Ace of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Let yourself stand out and be noticed. Do a walking meditation each day for the next week, okay? All right, I didn't say it out loud, but okay, for the Hanged Man and the Four of Pentacles, we've got the Blue Heron. Make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. And then for Ten of Pentacles, tell me more about how we can achieve Ten of Pentacles. How can we achieve Ten of Pentacles? Honeybee, let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. And Roadrunner, keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, part of the Seven of Swords that doesn't really get talked about a lot is about the cleverness of this character. So this is a more traditional interpretation of this card. This is how this card is really supposed to look. And you can see what's happening here is you've got a war encampment where these swords are being stolen from. And the man who's stealing them is basically finding a way to win the war without bloodshed. He's taking away their weapons. He's making the army powerless. Now, this interpretation feels a little more defensive. So it could be that you are very defensive about this idea or project. But on the other hand, it feels like you're being encouraged to be more clever about what it is that you do in order to get what it is that you want. Like, you know, whatever it is you're trying to build. So, you know, in this building energy, we have the peacock, let yourself stand out and be noticed. And then we have the kiwi, do a walking meditation each day for the next week. So for the next week, I think you need to be thinking about how can you stand out and be noticed. I think you may actually even already know what you need to do. You just aren't doing it. You're sort of you're you're getting stuck in the planning stages but not actually going anywhere and doing it. You may be talking to a friend about it, but you're not actually taking action and doing a thing. So, with the Hanged Man and the Four of Pentacles energy here, you have the Blue Heron. Make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. So if you've been thinking really hard about what other people might think about you taking action towards what it is you need to do in order to achieve this Ten of Pentacles, but you're holding on really, really tightly to what you've already done without actually moving forward and being in your power and your energy about what you need to do. If you've let setbacks or maybe people being crappy towards you about what it is that you're hoping to achieve, then that's that Hanged Man energy. You're just kind of being stuck and not actually moving. So if you want to achieve this Ten of Pentacles here, if you want to actually get that pentacle, we have here the honeybee. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. This could very well be compassion and forgiveness for yourself, for not taking action, for being stuck. You may need to just take a look when you're meditating this week at why are you letting yourself be stuck. So you have the Roadrunner. Keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. If you've been really up in your head about I want this thing, but you're not taking action towards it. You're not actually doing what you need to do in order to be clever, be smart about getting what it is that you want and overcoming the obstacles. If you feel like you're just dodging bullets left and right without making actual progress, this is something that you need to explore and think about, well, why is that? Why is that? Ask yourself, why are you only hanging out in this starter energy without letting yourself think of all of the possibilities and all of the great things that could come of working towards this goal? If you have something creative you wanted to make, if you have something you wanted to achieve, a life goal, a new project, a new, I don't know, whatever it is, it feels like there's a lot of want, there's a lot of desire for it, and there's a lot of passion around whatever this is, but you're just, for whatever reason, not letting yourself actually move towards it. This could be just your doubts manifesting, listening too hard to all of the self-doubt and all of the why nots, instead of, well, this is what it could be. Instead, focusing too hard on all the reasons why it couldn't be, instead of why it could. I think it would benefit you enormously to take a look at what can you do to release that negative mindset and turn that perspective around. It could really help, I think, if you allow yourself to reframe how you think about what it is that you want. If you allow yourself to think of how good it could be instead of all of the reasons why it can't be. And instead of focusing so much on the possible obstacles, think about how to achieve the goal. Like, start working on it. Just start. Just get started. Whatever else is going on, okay, great. You did some work. Awesome. Amazing. I'm proud of you. That's good. But there's more to do. There is more work to do. So just start. One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. Whatever you need to do. You will get there, but you have to start first. Not just plan. Not just talk about it. It's great that you have passion. It is fantastic that you do. But, you know, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and I was thinking about this, you know. A lot of people want to write a book, and I've actually published, both traditionally and self, multiple books. You know, I've hit the USA Today bestsellers list. I have had past success with my books, but the thing is, I cannot tell you the number of people I tell I have written books, I have published books, and they come to me and say, "Oh, I have an amazing idea for a book. I really need to write a book." But, you know, that's great. But then they don't actually take action and do it. They just sort of hang out in the planning stages, and they get so busy with life, you know. Oh, well, you know, last week I had to do this and that, and I came home and I was too tired to, you know, put any words on the page. But I still have this great idea. I'm really passionate about this idea. I have a ton of ideas, but they don't see how they're just kind of stuck there, not actually making progress. They're looking at all of the things that they've accumulated around them, all of their current obligations, but they're not looking at how to fit the project in and make it a reality. It's very pie in the sky. So I think, you know, part of this is telling you to get out of your head about it. Stop worrying so much about all of the life reasons that could come, you know, charging after you, and just get to work and start doing the thing that makes you happy. Perhaps that's what you need to meditate on. What will genuinely make you happy? Are you happy right now? Are you really happy right now with the way things are? Would you be okay with things continuing in the condition they're in indefinitely? I mean, if that's the case, then, you know, so be it. If this is just a nice idea, then maybe it's just a nice idea, and instead that energy needs to be focused more on what you can do to better your current situation instead of work on the new project. But this feels like something that you really want. And I think if you actually take action towards it and are honest with yourself about the kind of work you need to put in order to achieve it, without letting the possibilities of failure or of obstacles insert themselves in your path to the point that you become paralyzed with indecision about, you know, moving beyond what you've already created. Well, I mean, that's just something to think about. So I want to end this with some angel numbers. Let's see what advice and what angel numbers we have here. What advice for the collective about this situation? What advice about this situation? So we have 66, Circle of Love. Your angels remind you of the sacredness of the connections that hold deep meaning to your heart. Take the time to deepen your bonds with your family, friends, and loved ones. They are your source of divine strength and unyielding support, a circle of love that surrounds you always. Yeah, so you may not have felt very supported in this endeavor. It's very possible that, you've spent more time in your head worrying about how things are going to go and not actually utilizing your support system and turning to people for help when you need it. Okay. I think there might be one other message here, but I'm not sure. Let me see what deck. Two. I feel like I've got two. All right. All right. What animal or animals have advice in this situation? What is the advice in this situation? Okay. Okay, so the first is the crow, number 8. Being seen, heard. Number 28, the elk, alert and engaged. And then number 43, sheep, shy. So we've got two sides of the same coin here. We've got shy and being seen and heard. And in the middle, we've got the elk who's looking at the sheep who is shy. Okay, so I want to see what the guidebook says before I get into this. So let's start with the crow, who is number 8. The crow, known for its loud caws and striking presence, symbolizes the deep human need to be seen and heard, and the importance of acknowledging others in the same way. Crows are highly social and intelligent birds, often using their voices and actions to communicate, assert their presence, and ensure they are noticed within their community. This behavior highlights the universal desire to have our existence recognized and our voices validated. To be truly seen and heard means that our thoughts, feelings, and experiences are acknowledged and respected without judgment or dismissal. In our human lives, we can use the crow's symbolism by actively listening to others and offering them our full attention, thereby validating their experiences and fostering deeper connections. All right, I'm not going to read the entire thing, but so what I'm picking up from this, especially since it's over here in this starter kind of energy, it feels like you want to be seen. You want to be heard. You want to tell people about your idea. You want to get started, and you want people to see and appreciate the work that you're doing. You want people to be a part of your journey. Actually, even without getting into the specifics in the guidebook, it feels like you're just letting this sheep energy hold you back from your 10 of Pentacles. You're holding on to that shyness and being afraid to engage people outside of your circle and letting people see everything that it is that you're willing to do. And, it's okay. It's okay. That happens. But, for this hangman energy here, you have the elk who is alert and engaged, telling you to be more in the moment and look at what is actually happening versus what's happening in your head. Look at the reality of the situation. Are you taking actual steps to achieve this goal or project, or are you just thinking about it a whole lot? Are you genuinely engaged with it, or are you just sort of admiring? You know, I've been guilty of doing the same damn thing myself, you know, and it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you can't break out of that cycle. But it is something that, you know, I can point it out to you, but only you can make the decision to change it. And you may need to turn to your friends and, you know, lean on your support structure in order to actually get some assistance to break out of the cycle of, you know, sort of self-wanking about what it is that you're, you know, your big ideas without actually, you know, taking action towards them. Maybe you need an outside perspective from your friends to help you get started. On the other hand, maybe you don't. Maybe you've known all along what it is you need to do and you just aren't pushing yourself towards it. But here, I wanted to end off on affirmations. Is there another one? Yeah, one more. Okay. All right. So for the first affirmation to end this off, we have worthiness. I am worthy of the ultimate happiness. I deserve and accept it. And damn it, I'm not going to feel guilty about it when I get it. Guilt is not invited to my happiness party. I won't even tell him where it is. If he asks about it, I'll be like, no, I think you're thinking of something else. And then I'll run away very quickly. Gentleness. I speak with gentleness and I listen with gentleness. I align with the gentlest part of myself and I take joy in being receptive, open, and unafraid. I am like a baby deer who's best friends with a baby elephant. The baby elephant wraps its little trunk around my shoulders and we lie down gently on the grass, daydreaming and talking about what sorts of humans the clouds look like. Ups and downs. I see life as an incredible ride, and I'm lucky to be on it. Yes, the ups and downs make me want to puke sometimes, but they're also what makes things fun and interesting. And when you look back, even puking on yourself makes for a good story. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, my loves, I hope that helped. I know that, you know, sometimes this stuff can be a little hard to hear and I can be a bit blunt at times with, you know, beating you over the head with truths you need to hear, but I'll tell you what, sometimes I need to hear it too. And I don't always process it until the words are coming out of my mouth, but, you know, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. I want to be honest with you. I want to be honest with myself, and I want to help myself and others achieve a better, happier life where we actually do reach our goals. We do reach this 10 of Pentacles. I hope you stick around and join me on the journey. I really do. All right, my loves, if this was helpful, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.